Okay. Today I'm here to respond to the proposition that the ban of coasting devices around college campuses does little to protect, and to support his major claim, the advocate used three secondary claims. The first states that riders continue to skate and ignore the ban. The second claim stated that the safety for pedestrians is not an issue with transportation skating, and the final secondary claim said that skaters are able to decide when it's appropriate and safe to ride. I'll first respond to the first secondary claim that riders continue to skate and ignore the ban. The advocate used a quote from Donald Reed, the Director of Security and Campus Police at Dixie State College of Utah, which estimated that students are found with a board underfoot on campus 3 times a week. However, in that same article, I found that Reed said that many of the longboarders on the Dixie campus are non-students and have been seeking other places to ride their boards rather than on campus. This supports the idea that students are thinking twice about their hobby and are looking for other ways to ride rather than going against the rules on college campuses. Also, the advocate only used that piece of statistics to support this claim. Judging by the fact that this is only one official from one campus, more evidence is needed to support the claims. I also found that banning longboarding is actually making riders think twice. Sean Hunt, a student that enjoys longboarding, stated on the Dixie Sun College website that he got a $200 ticket from riding on campus. I think we'd all agree that a $200 ticket would make us all think twice the next time we stepped out to ride on campus, and we wouldn't necessarily ignore the ban. With just the UPD issuing 112 longboarding tickets in only 1 year, as written in Mustang Daily Online, it means that many longboarders have had to pay a ticket and also second think their choice to ride. This leads me to the refutation of the advocate's secondary claim, which says that safety for pedestrians is not an issue with transportation skating. Although unclear at first, we come to learn that the advocate means that skateboarding is not as harmful as it is being portrayed by the rules and regulations set by different campuses. The advocate uses biased quotes to defend this by quoting college students who in fact ride different coasting devices. Students who engage in the hobby, of course, won't say that what they are doing is unsafe to the public. I also found a quote by Donald Reed, who said that about 5 years ago, the student body voted against the use of longboards, skateboards, and razor scooters around campus. The results implemented the rule that has been in full swing ever since. This shows that there were actual concerns by the campus to ban longboarding, and that's why the new rules were set. To defend the secondary claim, the advocate stated that administrative analysis Alexandra Kohler says that no statistics are being kept on skateboard-related injuries at Cal Poly, but in the same source, she stated that the UPD does keep medical reports of injuries reported and states, "We don't have statistical information, but the majority of accidents we see are from skateboard and bike riders." Finally, another public safety official known as Harold Sivers told the news group that from the Beacon that banning longboarding has never been taken into consideration, but more so the campus being a safer place and accident-free. In other words, the safety for the pedestrian is the reason why allowing the use of coasting devices is being questioned in the first place. This leads me to the third secondary claim, which stated that skaters are able to decide when it is appropriate and safe. This claim is biased in my opinion because no skater will admit that they have come close to hurting someone or actually hurt someone. Just like previously stated, public safety officials and councils are there to make the campus a safer place for everyone, and due to public fear and even reported injuries. They are not looking to harm skateboarders and take away their hobby that they love so much, as the advocate stated in his defense. They are just looking out for the safety of the whole campus. As much as skaters think they are taking precautions, more precautions seem necessary to the officials. In conclusion, the advocate said that banning coasting devices around college campuses does little to protect because riders continue to skate and ignore the ban, that safety for pedestrians is not an issue with transportation skating, and skaters are able to decide when it is appropriate and safe. However, due to the fact that the claims do contain biased information and don't fully examine the information, that public safety officials are trying their best to protect the safety of the student body as a whole, does have its benefits. I'd like you all to agree with me that the banning of coasting devices around college campuses does in fact help protect.
Okay, the structural things are pretty good, although on the third point it sounded to me like you had started responding to the third point before you actually got to it. It turns out that it was some other information that was still on the second point. Your signposting on those points as you get to them is fine. I like the follow-up on the article that you did, looking at people's opinions and non-students being the ones who are primarily responsible for those accidents on that one college campus, according to the police officer. I thought that that was an interesting way of addressing it. You know, you did an okay job in suggesting that people might be affected by the price of the ticket, although the frequency with which the tickets are being given out, that was a little bit confusing on the information that you had on that point. There's a challenge to self-bias, or to the bias of the skateboarders on all of the arguments, and I think it's a reasonable general challenge to make. And in fact, there might be some other explanations about why it's legitimate to challenge those conclusions. You know, that the skateboarders being subject to the restrictions, or maybe there's something general about the nature of skateboarders, or maybe it's the lack of compliance in the first place, which indicates that they are unwilling to see things from a different point of view. I think that's an okay challenge to make. I just think that you need to find some information to back it up. I did like the fact that you had one piece of information that suggested that the medical incidents, although they are not statistically compiled, do show that most of them are related to either skating or bicycling. Of course, you know, bicycling is part of that issue too. And then you got to that third point. I wasn't quite sure what you were saying on the third point, but I thought you had a very nice summary of your argument, trying to give us a good final exit line there. All right.